Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Saturday, May 28th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So, in today's video, we'll be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about my core picks for today for the FanDuel main slate, which is going to be starting this afternoon instead of obviously in the later time slot, and then going over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and looking at my top GPP stacks for today. But with that being said, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. We're going to start off with the pitcher position with Sean Manaea, $9,700, got to 31 points. He was a push yesterday just because of the price tag, but he was the fifth overall pitcher on the slate. Obviously, if you saw my video yesterday morning, Shane Bieber was my initial core pick. That game unfortunately got rained out. And it was kind of a weird one, too, because it said there was only like a 17% chance of rain. And by the time it got announced, it was about 12 minutes before the game. So I posted in here to switch to Sean Manaea. Just didn't work out the best as we thought it would, but still not a bad play by any means. So just kind of unfortunate that that did end up happening yesterday. Then at second base or shortstop, depending on which position you played him at, we had Gene Segura at $3,600, 6.5 points. So he was a push yesterday. Guy that had been playing pretty well, had really good history, so don't have any regrets about playing him. Not a guy that helped you overall, but not a guy that hurt you. Then we moved down to second baseman / third baseman, Luis Ariz, $2,900, got to 15.7 points. He was the fourth overall third baseman on yesterday's slate, so can't really say too much there. Moving down to the outfield, we had Starlin Marte, $3,400. He got to 21.9 points. He was a hit, the fifth overall outfielder on the day, so pretty good hit there. And then last but not least, we had Dominic Smith in the initial core. He did not end up starting yesterday, so like I said, you could switch to Eduardo Escobar if you're looking for somebody that's cheap. Obviously, you could play him at second or third base yesterday. $2,400. Got to 3.5 points. He had an early RBI, but that was it yesterday. So he was the push, not a guy that helped you or hurt you yesterday. And then if you wanted to pay up and you want to play in the outfield, Whit Merrifield was also there. $3,400. Got to 9.2 points. So he was a hit. Not somebody that was super, super over the top, but not a bad play by any means either. So it was a little bit of a hit or miss yesterday. No like bad misses, just not quite the massive hits that we were hoping for. And unless you had some other pretty good hits in your lineup as well, it was a little bit tougher day to cash yesterday, not going to lie. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my core picks for today. We're going to start off with pitcher Tony Gonsolin, $9,800, pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's been pitching very well as of late. A lot of quality starts, a lot of starts where he's 36 to 40 points pretty easily. That's kind of what we look for out of our starting pitcher on a daily basis. Goes against the Arizona Cardinals, not the best offense in the world. He does have a pretty good track record versus them as well. The one major concern with Tony Gonsolin throughout his career has been the walks. If he can limit the walks, he's going to pitch deep enough into the game to get that quality start, which is the thing that we're really looking for out of him today. And he does have a really good chance of getting the win in this game as well, since he's going against the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks not the best team in the world, and the Dodgers offense has hit Merrill Kelly pretty well in the past. Then we're going to move down to first base. Once again, we're going right back to Dominic Smith just because Zach Eflin didn't end up pitching yesterday. Faulkner, I believe it was, ended up getting the start. Eflin got pushed back to today. So everything that I said yesterday about Dominic Smith still applies. 7 for 17 for Zach Eflin today. $2,200. Definitely looks like a good cheap play overall. Then we're going to move down to shortstop. You can also play him at third base and outfield. Marwin Gonzalez, $2,000, so the flat minimum price tag. And he's going against the Tampa Bay Rays and Corey Kluber today. He has very, very good track record versus Corey Kluber throughout his career. 10 for 22 with 2 home runs. The biggest thing here with Marwin Gonzalez, you just got to make sure he's in that starting lineup. We can say the same thing about Dominic Smith once again today. So those two guys, very, very good cheap plays, but we just got to make sure they're in the starting lineup. If they are not, I will post an update to my core in the comments down below. Then we move back to Starlin Marte in the outfield, $3,400, going right back once again today. Obviously, when I talked about him yesterday, we were talking about the history for Zach Eflin. Still had a really good day yesterday against the Phillies, but he's looking to repeat once again today. 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He's still 7 for 13 with 1 home run against Zach Eflin, so there should be some upside there as well. Then on the opposite end of the game, we got Nick Castellanos, $3,300, averaging just over 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He's 4 for 12 with 2 home runs versus Taijuan Walker, who is the starting pitcher for the Mets today, so definitely offers a ton of upside in that regard as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $14,300 remaining, just under $3,600 per player. So definitely some opportunities to pay out for players. There's some pretty good players to pay out for on this slate, whether it's a Trey Turner, a Freddie Freeman, anyone like that. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talking about my top GPP stacks for today. So the first one we have is the Los Angeles Dodgers going against Merrill Kelly and the Arizona Diamondbacks. A lot of these hitters have hit him very well in the past. Don't have to say too much there. Obviously, you can pretty much look at anybody in that Dodgers lineup today. Then we move over to the Mets. Obviously, these Mets hitters have hit Zach Eflin very well in the past. Mentioned this yesterday. Don't need to say too much more about it again. Mets still looking like a good stack, but there is the chance that Zach Eflin is on top of his game, has his good stuff, and has a pretty good start like he did the last time out versus the Dodgers. But if he doesn't have his good stuff today, he's probably going to get lit up. Then we move over to the Phillies side, so the opposite side of that game going against Taijuan Walker. He's another guy kind of like Zach Eflin. When he's on top of his game, he's a pretty good pitcher. When he's not, things get pretty ugly pretty quickly. These Phillies hitters do have good history versus Taijuan Walker, so it could be a potential advantage as well. Then last but not least, I have the Chicago White Sox going against the Chicago Cubs and Keegan Thompson. I'm not sure if this is his first career start or not. He's been pitching primarily out of the bullpen this year, so definitely some upside there. These White Sox hitters have decent history versus him in the past as well, so definitely a team that would look to stack once again today as well. But with that being said, these are my core picks as well as my top GPP stacks for today, May 28th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate. Maybe somebody from my core picks, maybe someone from my top GPP stacks, maybe a completely different player that you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's MLB or USFL. Those are the two main ones at this point in time. I just made a post for USFL DFS for week 7 on YouTube and then also on Twitter as well. So definitely be sure to check that out, going through different players, whether I play them in cash, GPP settings, some of the top stacks, some of the top options for defense and everything like that. Some of my thoughts, some of the inactives for this week. Definitely be sure to check that out. And if there's any changes that do happen throughout the week, since there are games today and tomorrow, I'll be posting updates there as well. And then with that being said, if you're a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.